And so I think if we could reframe our perspective is kind of what I put in the notes. But Stephen Covey, he wrote, he passed away, but Stephen Covey wrote the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And so one of the things that he talks about, he goes into a lot of detail about it, and there's even some illustrations and stuff, but he talks about a paradigm shift. And so it's basically where you see something a certain way, and because of maybe how you were raised or because of your mood, whatever, you see certain things a certain way, and then you can get a paradigm shift, and it completely changes your glasses.
Right.
I think we had a podcast about this, something about podcasts. I mean, about glasses, but it completely changes your perspective on something. And we've talked about, like, I remember I used the example of one of the kids in our Sunday school that's just was acting up all the time. Yes. And I found out that they were dealing with something at home, and it changed my perspective from like wanting to be a disciplinarian to like caring, so much about them. Anyway, so all of that, if we could reframe our perspective from, instead of, and this almost goes back to some of the stage fright stuff we've talked about.
Yep.
But instead of imagining all these people in the wings just watching us with a critical eye and waiting for us to mess up, instead if we could say all these people are watching us and waiting for a moment of inspiration. What are they going to do next?
Yes. And that, even tonight we had our Bible quizzing, our beginners, so that's ages, I think 6 through 8, and they were terrors tonight. Not a single one of them that I could say was good. Some started out good, and then because of how the others were acting,
my son was one of them.
It was the worst. My daughter. It's like, what are you doing? Like, we have 40 minutes, and we don't need you talking. We don't need you talking.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, one's laying on the floor. Next thing you know, one's talking again. And it's like, you guys, if we can't do the simple stuff here, we can't have fun later. And it's like, okay, so, it just, again, but they're looking to me, they're looking to the who's in charge there, and we're trying to do all this, and it can be frustrating, but remember where we're going with it, and
exactly.
Hey, I can either lead them, or I can just let them kind of
well, and sometimes, and this is maybe getting off topic a little bit, but sometimes we can think we're being the good guy or the cool guy by letting it go too much. And I think way back in the day, Dr. Dobson from Focus on the Family talked about this, but kids they want to find the line. They're trying to find the line.
Yep.
And we interpret that as bad behavior, and it is bad behavior. But he talked about something, there's a whole illustration about it, but they're just trying to find where is that boundary where you're going to say, okay, that is it. You cross the line, and you're getting punished or whatever.
Yep.
And so we as leaders in Sunday school, as leaders of a team or whatever, sometimes, especially with kids, we have to establish those boundaries for them. We have to establish those lines and say, look, this is the parameters.
Right.
And I do mean it.
Yep. Some direct, definitely, if we're not directing them, and then it's,
and then that even goes deeper into like plan of salvation and biblical lessons. Is if we can let them, I mean, we have a blast in Sunday school.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time. We have a blast. We use comedy a lot. We have fun with it. But if we can let them know that even though we're having a good time, we're having fun, this is a serious concept, or this is something that you do want to take home with you. This is, we have a lot of fun with the Bible story or whatever, but this really happened, or, however we're presenting it, whatever we're doing.
Right.
And so, I think, and that goes back to reframing, our vision or our perspective, that paradigm shift. If we can think, and I'm guilty of it too, if we can think, take the focus off of me, it's not about, am I cool or whatever, but instead, they need me. They need me to show up.
Yeah.
They need me to step up and be a leader.
And so again, that kind of goes into just like, okay, So I messed up. Like, I didn't give them enough, hey, you guys, done. You're done now. And we carried on too far. And then it was even downstairs after we did finish our more serious part of practice. And then we finish it up generally with a fun game or something. And it carried into down there. And it's like, you guys.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like and we're talking about discipline now, but still, I think it's good stuff. But I remember talking about, I did a lesson, it might have been for youth or it might have been Sunday school, but I was saying, imagine trying to play a game of basketball with no rules. And it sounds cool at first, you know, those young boys, no rules,
right.
You know, but really, the rules are the structure are what makes it fun.
Yep.
That's how it is cool, is because you do have these rules in place and you do have the structure in place, and now we can make it fun.
Yeah.
And so even if you want to have some kind of wild, crazy game, somewhere there's got to be some rules, or if it's just not fun anymore. You know, it just gets too crazy.
Yeah, now you have kids just walking all over, and it's like some want to participate and others don't. And then it's like, we're here for one purpose.
Yeah.